To diversify their classic properties and bring an exciting, contemporary, rich, inclusive layer to their beloved stories, Disney has recently made two bold casting decisions regarding two of their most iconic characters in the history of Disney's legacy. Halle Bailey will be playing Ariel in the live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, and Yara Shahidi will be playing Tinkerbell in the live-action Peter Pan. Both of these actors happen to be stars of the freeform show Grownish. Some are praising these casting choices and others are being less kind. So I'm going to begin by talking about how each individual actress fits their role and then dive into the elephant in the room. Both of these girls are black while the animated characters they are portraying have been perceived to be white. So let's start with Halle Bailey as Ariel. I don't know where else to start other than saying Halle Bailey is the most perfect person to play Ariel that I can possibly think of. Before the role had been cast, I was a huge advocate for Ariana Grande playing the role of Ariel because of her powerful voice and bright-eyed, innocent but not so innocent look. But after getting educated on Hallie, there was no looking back. Her vibe and spirit exude the most powerful Ariel energy that I have ever witnessed in a human being. She's got the bright-eyed wonder, the excitement, the youth, the innocence, the edge, the gentle Jodie Benson speaking voice, and a singing voice that is just beyond. She sings like a real siren mixed with the ambiance of Jodie Benson's Ariel. Director Rob Marshall said of his casting decision, "After an extensive search, it was abundantly clear that Hallie possesses that rare combination of spirit, heart, youth, innocence, and substance, plus a glorious singing voice, all intrinsic qualities necessary to play this iconic role." And I definitely see that. She actually looks a lot like Ariel with her facial structure, pointed chin, eye placement, wide smile, fairy nose. She's just a few shades darker, which leads me to the discussion of race. A lot of people cannot get past the idea of a black woman playing a character that they perceive to be white. Despite the fact that Ariel's race has never been established and the knowledge that mermaids are mythological creatures and therefore race may not even exist in the mermaid kingdom. I doubt they're gonna ditch the iconic red hair, so it's literally the same exact character but a little bit darker. Her skin tone doesn't change Ariel's identity or spirit, and I see more of Ariel in Halle Bailey than I do in any white actor that people would have been okay with playing the role, like Haley Steinfeld or Kiernan Shipka. I just don't find this to be a drastic change because I can see Hallie bringing the character to life in such a magical, nostalgic way since she embodies the character so much, and it's a shame that people can't see past her skin color. What I would use as an example of a drastic change to a Disney princess would be what they did with the live-action Mulan. Not only is the actress who plays the role much too restrained, reserved, subtle, and expressionless to play the expressive, soulful, full of life character of the animation, so we never feel as if we're seeing the Mulan we love come to life, but the changes with her character regarding how in the animation she was a flawed girl who didn't know her place in the world and joined the war to protect her father despite having no skills or experience to survive. While in the live-action Mulan, she is a perfect, flawless warrior with superpowers from the very beginning, so she's not risking much. That's a big change. The shade of a character's skin isn't, and if it was, there should have been a much bigger uproar when half-white actress Naomi Scott was cast as Princess Jasmine, despite not being nearly as dark as the animated character. But let's talk about how the casting of a black actress as Ariel is actually a strong choice. These Disney live-action adaptations ideally should take the iconic beloved elements of the animated movie and adapt them into real life, adjusting them accordingly to fit into a more photorealistic, detailed, layered, complex, three-dimensional world, and doing so while utilizing modern filmmaking and contemporary knowledge. Every live-action film makes adjustments because the filmmakers think those adjustments are better suited for live action, and through a contemporary lens in a more evolved world. I don't always agree with their choices, but nobody's going to be 100% satisfied when seeing a childhood favorite animation translated into a modern live-action blockbuster. In the case of The Little Mermaid, Even though the original Hans Christian Andersen tale was Danish, the Disney animation is its own thing, and the direction they went with the setting and music was totally undeniably Caribbean. It's oh so tropical, the crab is freaking Jamaican, and the music is straight up calypso. I personally don't think the animated film is set anywhere specific and is sort of just set in the fairy tale world of Disney, but the heavy Caribbean influences are undeniable. So it only makes sense to cast an actress of color playing a character dancing to reggae music in the tropical Caribbean alongside a Jamaican crab in a modern live-action blockbuster that's being told in a more educated, socially conscious climate. And it just brings more depth, a new, exciting layer to the character that reflects a more diverse, inclusive culture. It's really a win for everybody. We all get to see Ariel come to life in an exciting, grand way with an actress that encompasses the qualities and energy of that character perfectly, and in the process, little black kids will get to see themselves in Ariel and feel represented and validated. I know I'm even more excited for this film than I was before because I already see Hallie as Ariel, so we got that covered, but her casting brings an extra layer of richness and social sophistication to it all. Now let's talk Kiara Shahidi as Tinkerbell. I think she's a perfectly suitable choice for the role, though not to the level of perfection of Hallie. She definitely exudes the mixture of sassy and sweet that Tink is known for, even if she doesn't immediately scream Tinkerbell. You can still see it. It's an exciting contemporary choice that makes things more interesting without abandoning the identity or DNA of the iconic character. She just gives her a new flair. And in the original Peter Pan movie, Tink was glowing yellow the entire time, so don't come at me with the skin color thing. And also, like Ariel, she's a mythological creature, and race probably works a lot different with fairies than with humans. And even if she was human, who cares? If you're right for the role and we can see the character in you, then something as minor as the shade of your skin becomes a ridiculous argument. It's so minor. I mean, it's major for representation, but it's so minor. It's not like black people are a different species. As a Disney purist, I can understand someone's point of view of wanting a live-action character to look exactly like the animated counterpart. But first of all, Hallie does look like Ariel. And second of all, it's not really different for Lily James to have brown eyes when playing Cinderella because she embodies that character so well. And third, just let the spirit of the animated character come to the forefront of your mind and know that the animated film will always be the classic version that is iconic and beautiful in its simplicity, and the live action version will be a big, modern celebration of its legacy with additional nuances, depth, and complexities. It's just an alternative way of watching a beloved Disney story, just as the Broadway version adjusts itself to the stage, and the books adjust themselves to their functions. It's not that serious, it's just fun. It's just entertainment, so we should all relax and enjoy, and if you have a different opinion, you don't have to watch or pay any mind. So you can either flip a switch in your mind to open it up and look at things from a new perspective, or you can get over it. And yes, I know I sound like a hypocrite because I'm still dwelling over my disappointment with Mulan, but I'm at peace with the fact I'll never be happy about it. Also, I just want to bring up that I didn't address Brandy playing Cinderella because that wasn't an adaptation of the Disney animation, but an adaptation of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Oh, and don't come at me saying, what if it were a white girl playing Mulan or Pocahontas or Tiana? The context there is completely different. Mulan and Pocahontas are both historical characters of a specific race, and for them and Tiana, their race is integral to the story, and representation is important. There are so many white Disney characters and so few of color, and it would be wrong to whitewash one of those few and take away representation from someone who needs it a lot more than you. There are historically so few black female leads in major tentpole movies, so to whitewash a character of color would be an offense that simply doesn't exist when the tables are turned.